What up, y'all, and welcome to Miller Motorsports Park here at the Sandy Flats for the third race of the 2023 NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series season. We've got 15 laps on tap here today, one more lap than last year's race. And Keith Rich is on pole for the first time in his Digital Storm Cup Series career. He's got Nate Rogers on his left. Row 2, you've got Jesse Turner and the road course ace himself, Seth Cole. 9 of his 14 career wins coming on road courses. Row 3, Alex Ferranti and Kev Shearer. Row 4, great qualifying effort by Logan Williams with Ace Rogers to his left. And rounding out the top 10 is Richard Johnson and the all-time wins leader and two-time defending series champion, Jonathan Zorlin, who comes into this race tied with Allison Liera, who starts here in row 6 and 11th for the most top 10s all-time in Cup Series history. I believe these two tied it up once or twice last year, with Liera getting the edge or holding the edge over Zorlin in that category. But they are tied once again at 84 career top 10s apiece as the race to get to 100 rages on. Going to be interesting to see if either of these two drivers can reach the 100 top 10 mark this season, with it only being a 20 race season. We are 2 races in, so they still have a shot. But the competition seems to be a little tougher this year, so it might be hard to go and get 16 top 10s on the year and so forth. Let's go through the rest of the starting lineup. Got Cole Deaver next to Liera there in row 6. Jessica Shelton, Samet Oskin. Oskin has won on a couple road courses. He starts 14th. Fitzwater won both of the races in Jerky Pro Truck Series here at this track back in 2020 and 2021. So Fitzwater going to be looking to get his first Cup win here today. He's got a little bit of traffic to work through, but depending on his strategy, might just have a shot here on this one. RJ Bishop, your Daytona 500 winner, starts next to him. That is in row number 8. Row 9's got Kate Anderson and Charles Sanford, who's won the last 2 races here. The only other driver to win at this track was Jeff Toledo in the inaugural race back in 2020. So Sanford has won the last 2 races here. Can he make it 3 in a row? We look through the rest of the starting lineup. As always, there are some drivers that just can't seem to hit the mark in qualifying this week. They are William Brock, Nico Tringali, Dylan Young, and our previous race winner at Auto Club, Stephen Waters. But Stephen Waters started at the back at Auto Club and won at Auto Club. Going to be a lot harder to do that here today, considering it is a road course. But hey, crazier things have happened here in the Digital Storm Cup Series. Could it be another crazy occurrence here today? So standalone week, Jerky Pro off for the first time this season. And both series will return at Phoenix Raceway as we continue the West Coast swing as pace car. Ooh, look at that kick off there on the line. But looking at the rest of the West Coast swing, we go Phoenix, Texas, Kansas on the Cup side. I forget if Jerky Pro goes to Texas. I'm pretty sure they go to Kansas. I will have to double check that schedule. But 15 laps of racing here. As always, caution flags are off on the road courses. And strategy is going to be the name of the game here today. Going to be another highlight type video. Keith Rich, Nate Rogers lead them to the green flag, and we are underway at Miller Motorsports Park. As always, the jump on this racetrack is always a constant 3 wide traffic jam, as they are 3 wide for the lead and then 3 wide for 4th behind them. Rich trying to hold Seth Cole and Nate Rogers at bay for the race lead, but Cole is going to clear the 53 for the race lead. From 4th place starting position, Seth Cole makes it 3 wide and takes the race lead, and he is already driving away as Nate Rogers files in line in 2nd place. Keith Rich, his car not looking too hot right now after setting that qualifying lap. Now Jesse Turner to his right side looking for 3rd, and Turner will take that position from Keith Rich. Alex Ferranti looking to take 4th now from the 53, his former teammate to Keith. Ace Rogers is right behind him. Ace going to get right up to the bumper of Ferranti. And now Ace Rogers will make it a 3 wide move in the middle. Top 3 single file in front. Still 3 wide back here for 4th. And Keith Rich will hold on to the position for the time being. Ace Rogers in 5th. Kev Shearer up to 6th. Logan Williams side by side with Ferranti for 7th as Richard Johnson and Jessica Shelton make it 3 wide with the 48. He's got Allison Liera, Jonathan Sorlin, Cole Deaver, RJ Bishop. The first 4 are just outside the top 10. We've had some problems at the back of the field. Watch the 4 of Zachary DeLello is just going to get turned here by Logan York. And then Steven Waters can't get off the bumper of the 95, and that sends both of them off the track into the wall, simultaneously hitting that wall too. About the same kind of impact and damage for both vehicles. So a tough start to the race for Waters, York, and the 4 of DeLello. We've just started lap 2. Takes 3 minutes to get around this racetrack. 3rd race of the season, so we're still going off go or go home on last year's points. And the following drivers did not qualify for today's event: Lucas Catano, Laura Chung, Zach Carrington, Scott Roush, Darian Tawn, Corey Raymond, Skylar Taylor, Saden Davidson, Colt Hudson, Sebastian Kukulon, Colin Cropley, Roy Ribbleton, Derek Hamill. Corey Riggs is the big one right here, y'all. Corey Riggs came into this race as the points leader after qualifying his way in through the first 2 races of the season. That's going to be a big hit to his championship chances. But even if he is to miss Phoenix, which would really hinder his chances there too, he should still be top 30 locked with the first 2 races he's had. We'll get the statistics in a second. The other 4 drivers, lastly, that missed today's event: Owen Miles, Christian Vargas, Archibald Buttersworth, and Dennis Moore. So Seth Cole currently commanding a 0.7 of a second lead over Nate Rogers. Jesse Turner 1.8 back, followed by Keith Rich, Ace Rogers 3 seconds back. So looking at the point standings, Corey Riggs with the top 5 and 2 top 10s through the first 2 races, and then a DNQ here today. But he came in with a 4-point lead over RJ Bishop, 6 over Steven Waters, and 12 points each over Zach Flickinger and Kev Shearer. So as they run, Kev Shearer looking really good if he gets a top 10. Remember, top 10 pays more, 2 points per position, up to a 3-point gain the 5th, and then the top 5 really steadily picks up to winning the race. Seth Cole has not had the start to the season he has wanted. Comes into this race 39th in points, an average finish of 32.5 over the first 2 races. However, an average starting position of 6.5. Came into this race 70 points back of Corey Riggs. Obviously, most likely going to have a new points leader after the race today, unless something crazy happens to everybody right behind Riggs, but still unlikely that he holds the points lead after the race is over. So Seth Cole in a great position here, trying to get a ton of points. Not been the start he's wanted. A win would really help boost this team's momentum. Looking at the rest of the top 10 in the points, it's Sorlin, Dylan Young, Lane Sanders, Nate Rogers, and Andrew Rich. And another statistic to point out is the only other driver to get top 10s in the first 2 races is Zach Flickinger in the 96. Flickinger currently runs in 22nd place, so he's got some work to do if he wants to maintain this top 10 streak of his to start the season. Laps take quite a while to tick off, as I've already stated once, and you can see here on the fastest lap time, Seth Cole, a 2:59.588. Nate Rogers, 2:59.804. They are the only two who have run a lap faster than the 3-minute mark. Sorlin is third on that list, sitting in 12th place. Let's go through the field. The pit cycle will begin, we expect, laps 6 to 8. So let's take a run through the field here. You got Jesse Turner still in third. Keith Rich has closed the distance back up a bit in fourth. Logan Williams having a really good run here. He is currently up to 5th place. Ace Rogers in 6th. Kev Shearer 7th, by the way. The 99 is a go-or-go home car, so a good run here today, and maybe another good run at Phoenix if the 99 makes the race would be big for Williams being locked in going into Texas. Alex Ferranti, great race so far for him in 8th. Ferranti still looking for his first career Cup win, and he's been in the series since 2018. See Jessica Shelton in 9th with Richard Johnson rounding out the top 10. Just outside of that, you got Allison Liera and Jonathan Sorlin, who are both looking to be the first one to 85 career top 10 finishes. Currently, neither of them would reach that today. RJ Bishop, pretty good race, and some new sponsorship for the 21 car, as that Daytona 500 win has really helped out Wood Brothers Racing. RJ currently sits 13th over Cole Deaver in 14th and Sameta Oskin in 15th. Kind of surprised that we haven't seen Oskin or Charles Sanford really drive through the field here today. This track is as much technical as it is draft reliant, and they sit 15th and 16th. Andrew Rich is in 17th. Alexander Rowe 18th. Fitzwater going nowhere. He is 19th. Kate Anderson rounding out the top 20. Enzo Nareza, Benjamin Ice, Zach Flickinger, Rob Evans, and Dylan Young, the top 25. So Dylan Young has made some decent ground from where he started. Quentin Moore, Audra Baranowskis, Henry Sanford, Ricky Freeman Jr., and Diego Yepes are the top 30. Get outside the top 30, you've got Trey Smith, Bradley Ream, Vince Freeze, Priya McShane, Chris Harvey, top 35. Then William Brock, Nico Tringali, man, another tough day for both of them. Lane Sanders, Zachary DeLello, and Ryan Brommer. Brommer, all 3 of his career wins come from the road courses, but he is struggling to wrap his head around this racetrack this afternoon. You see Stephen Waters in the background there, just went down to pit road to fix the damage. Logan York has already been down and out, and we're back at the front of the field, where Seth Cole now commands a 1.2 second lead over the 9 of Nate Rogers. If you look at the top right of your screen, you can see fall off is at 5 seconds here on lap 7, and Seth Cole, the race leader, is going to bring it down the pit lane. Nate Rogers will follow in. Logan Williams has made it up to 3rd. Turner and Kev Shearer racing side by side into the pit lane. This is one of the more unique pit lanes here, where you have to slow down for the corner and then you can speed back up to the line. As it looks like pretty much everyone is coming in here on lap 7 to lap 8. And indeed, no split strategy. Oh, Ryan Brommer came in on lap 6, it seems, but no split strategy here this afternoon. Kind of curious, really, that no one wants to do an undercut, overcut here. That's going to let Seth Cole maintain his lead. He is out and away. There goes the 9 of Nate Rogers. Logan Williams out third. Turner will beat out Kev Shearer for fourth. Ace Rogers 6th, Shelton 7th, RJ Bishop up to 8th, and then Ferranti, Keith Rich round out the current top 10. As Ryan Brommer, who was running in 40th place, has gained a ton of positions, pitting by himself on the undercut. He is about 15th now, I'd say. Quite the strategy play here by the 37. Just got to hope he can make it all the way on fuel in years past. Drivers have only been really able to stretch it maybe 8. So it's going to be a close one here for Brommer and the team to stretch it a full 9. But there is a ton of tire fall off, so we'll see if they can pull it off. 7 laps to go here at Miller Motorsports Park, and it has not been as dramatic of a race as in years past. Seth Cole commands a 4-second lead over the 9 of Nate Rogers, so I'd say barring any unforeseen circumstances to Seth Cole, or if the 9 is suddenly using nitrous here, Seth Cole's pretty much got this one in the bag, but there's still a ton of positions to be fought for here. But a huge gap now back to third place of Logan Williams, who is 9.1 seconds back of Seth Cole. Williams has looked strong all race long, and he has driven his Aflac Ford up to third. Jesse Turner 4th, Kev Shearer in 5th. There are rumors swirling around that these two have recently had some complications, and they have been pretty quiet about what the issues are. But they are nose to tail here on the track, and they have kept it clean. So the respect on track still seems to be there, but off the track, not so much. Ace Rogers is in 6th, Jessica Shelton 7th, so a bit of a gain for Shelton. Nothing really changed for Ace, but the big mover here into the top 10 is the 37 of Ryan Brommer. Psych, not you, RJ. It is RJ Bishop, though, as well. RJ moving from about 13th to 8th here on the pit cycle. And Ryan Brommer, of course, with his undercut is up to 9th, but he's got to lap older tires here, and this track is massive. It's going to be tough for Brommer to make his car wide enough here for 7 more laps to hold on to a top 10 spot, but Ferranti sits in 10th. How about Rob Evans up to 11th? Was outside of the top 20 before. Keith Rich down to 12th. Richard Johnson 13th. Dylan Young has jumped all the way up to 14th, so they brought a good car race pace-wise here for the 2. Liera is down to 15th place. Benjamin Ice up to 16th. Sanford Stable 17th. Andrew Rich 18th. Deaver 19th. Oskin 20th. Alexander Rowe 21st. Henry Sanford 22nd. Yepes 23rd. Vince Freeze up to 24th. Trey Smith. Fitzwater way down the running order. He is 26th. Same with Sorlin down to 28th. So some poor pit stops here. Not Sorlin's there. Remember, Sorlin has won on every type of track in Cup Series history, but they just missed the setup here this afternoon, it appears. Same can be said for veterans William Brock and Nico Tringali. Zach Flickinger is way down the running order now as well. And all eyes are on the lap counter here for Seth Cole. Seth not worried about anybody in his rearview mirror. Just wants to see that white flag. Jessica Shelton is on the move. Up to 4th place now over Kev Shearer and Jesse Turner. Turner now fallen to 6th. As Ryan Brommer has dropped outside of the top 10. Rob Evans now holding that 10th place position. Dylan Young up to 12th. As Brommer has fallen all the way to 15th. So the tires starting to show their age. But if you're Ryan Brommer here, depending where you finish, you can kind of call it a W because You were running in 40th before the pit cycle began. So as long as this 37 makes it on fuel, I mean, it's kind of a W in its own way without being a W. As Brommer had like no pace there on the first run. But still got 4 more laps to go, so Brommer's got about 12 more minutes to hold on to as many positions as he can. And Jessica Shelton is on pace to maybe catch Logan Williams, but it's going to take everything she's got. As in this frame right here, or that previous frame right there, you could see the 9 and the 07 racing off away in the distance. But a very mellow race here this afternoon at the Sandy Flats. Ace Rogers has moved his way up the 6. We're starting the final lap. And everyone here in the top 6 has really started to separate themselves from each other. Jessica Shelton continuing to close on Logan Williams, but it's not looking like she will have enough time to challenge him for third. Jesse Turner now, his car appears to be falling off from him. He is holding up RJ Bishop, Alex Ferranti, and Rob Evans. That's 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Dylan Young is up to 11th. He's got Rob Evans directly in front of him. Might have a shot at a top 10 charge here, but it's going to be close. Allison Liera sitting in 13th. 1 year ago, she was challenging for the race win alongside Seth Cole, Charles Sanford, and Sumit Oskin. This year, it was all Seth Cole's show. So Liera sits in 13th. Charles Sanford, 15th. Sumit Oskin just getting by Benjamin Ice for 17th. You can see quite the dicey racing going on here. Ryan Brommer has been able to hold on to 16th so far. Fitzwater, man, I don't know if he's going to want to come back to this racetrack. He sits in 29th. Sorlin up ahead is starting to knock down some positions here at the very end, trying to get as many points as he can. He is up to, I want to say, 25th. Or maybe 26th, actually. Tough race for a lot of drivers. Stephen Waters and Logan York, they have not pit a second time, so they have really stretched out their tires here, but they're at about 14 seconds of fall off. But it's a 6.5 second lead for Seth Cole here. He's led every single lap this afternoon. And he's just got a couple of corners to go here to get his 15th career win in his Digital Storm Cup Series career. Extending the record number of wins by a driver on a road course. This will be win number 10 on a road course in Seth Cole's career. And, you know, Vince Freeze might not be here, but he calls him the bye-bye man, Mr. Send It himself. Off the final corner, down the long front straightaway. Seth Cole will get some momentum on his side. He wins at Miller Motorsports Park here at the Sandy Flats. 39th in points coming into this race was Seth Cole, but it might be a short season, but the season isn't over yet. We'll have to see if Seth Cole can use this win to his team's advantage here and get that momentum swinging in the right direction. Nate Rogers comes home second place, 7.2 seconds back. Logan Williams holds on by a second over Jessica Shelton for third. And Kev Shearer rounds out the top 5. Ace Rogers, Jesse Turner, RJ Bishop, Rob Evans, and Dylan Young. The top 10. Alex Ferranti losing positions there on the final lap. And let's go take a look and see how he lost those spots. Well, y'all, this is pretty crazy. Alex Ferranti was holding on to 9th place for pretty much the entire lap until right here in the final sector. Rob Evans gets a good run here, dives it into his right. Side by side here down this straightaway. Ferranti with a little bit of draft help. Allison Liera making it side by side with Keith Rich back there for 12th. And then Ferranti gets tight on the inside of Evans here. Oh, he got in the gravel there. Or the grass, rather. Got in the grass a little bit. And then he misses the right-hander here. Still with a bit of momentum on his side. And then they drag raced it down to the start-finish line, and it was Dylan Young by a nose for 10th place. Quite the finish there. Tough break for Ferranti, losing out on the top 10, but that's why it's never over until it's over. And Ferranti goes from 9th to 11th through the last 6 corners there on the track. But the main story of the day is Seth Cole, 39th in points, getting the win here this afternoon. Have your full race results on the screen here in a moment, along with your point standings. And I'll see you guys next week at Phoenix. Maybe not next week, maybe 2 weeks. We'll see what happens. But next race is at Phoenix. Doubleheader Jerky Pro action is back. So I'll see y'all for that one. Peace out.